If you remain calm in a world where everything is peaceful, that calmness is not real. That's a big illusion. To remain calm, and even when all things are in turmoil, without being shaken. A tree that allows itself to be shaken by winds and yet deeply rooted. That's called the happy tree. Om Sudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 5 is known as Karma Sanyasi Yoga. Insight is being given into practice of integral yoga in daily life. Performing your duties in such a way that it promotes enlightenment, liberation. When karma, action, leads you to Citta Śuddhi, purity of heart. And purity of heart opens the gateway to Tattva Gyan, the knowledge of the self. So the movement towards purity of the heart, that focus is called Karma Yoga, the art of doing things. If that art is not well understood, then spiritual movement will be blocked. The general idea that people have a choice between two things. Living in the world, doing your duties, led by the demand of the world, or getting out of it, run away during the night, go to the ashram. 6 months later, you tell them that I'm renounced. Generally happens. That's from tradition point of view, there is a profound value in all that. But that in itself is not your goal, simply because you have the courage to renounce and go to the ashram. That didn't secure your goal. You have to have a proper understanding what you want to attain. Therefore, in human understanding, there are two great impediments. One is called Pravṛtti, another is called Nivṛtti. Defective understanding of Pravṛtti, and that has been dramatized in mother worship, Chanda and Munda. They are two great demons, and they go to attack Goddess Saraswati, and Kali Devi destroys them, and therefore she is known as Chamunda. All that, I will not lead you there, but just to make you understand that religious scriptures deal with these points in a very profound way. The illusion that action will make you attain what you want. So all that you need to do, how to be more active, and how to wait for technology to advance your activity and become more and more involved. And that's represented by the demon Chanda. Sometimes terrible. Allegorically, if that is your goal, just to go on doing things according to your whim, you are moving into a world that is so terrible, can't imagine. One lifetime has given you so much experience. And you have no limit, no end to lifetime, many lifetimes that will continue. Because with Chanda-based mind does not have any goal anywhere else but in the world of time and space. And all attainments in the world of time and space are transient. They cannot give you complete fulfillment. But when you put this energy that leads you to a lot of activity, you put this energy in a right direction, then Chanda has been killed in you. And the terminology is Karma Yoga. You have turned karma into Karma Yoga. The very same karma that will go on building up illusions. Now you are doing the same, but you have pickle in it. A herbal pickle. You are doing the same karma blended with japa, practice of pranayam, a spirit of sacrifice, yajna. How can I do my duties that will allow my heart to expand? Can I be more effective? Human action is limited only to one's family, near and dear ones. But when you become karma yogi, you begin to work upon, I am a channel of God's will. And the entire world is my family. Vasudhaiva kutumbakam. And you are not giving something like a speculation. Simple reasoning will tell you. Through every embodiment you have been in so many countless relations. If you were to just imagine 2 or 3 embodiments back where you had been, who were your relatives, friends, enemies. You might have been born in enemy's house of your previous personality. Now your mind is working totally in a different way. I'm just leading you to have so many ways of looking at it. So therefore, karmic process, unless you improve upon the way you do your duty, you are not living in a healthy way. You are invoking a big trouble, chanda. In order to get rid of this predicament, your mind turns to another way. Let me join a monastery, to nothing, a nunnery. It's God and me. Easily said, but that will bring you the trouble of munda. symbol of renunciation in India, shaving the head, shaving all your subtle desires. And so it's called Buddha, it's skull. So the idea that you can turn away from action and just stay renounced sounds easy for the mind, but it's impossible. If you do not utilize your energy, channelize it properly, if your field of your activity is not handled in a healthy manner, you cannot sit back and relax. If you sit back and relax, the demon of Kumbhakarna, tamas, will grip you. You will remain completely in a state of dullness. Days pass by and you are extremely dull. And you may say, oh, I've been all this time in samadhi. And that's the worst predicament. Mistaking dullness for samadhi. Mistaking inaction for something great. This is stupidity at its climax. So, Karma Yoga, this chapter teaches both attitudes are to be corrected. Action is needed. Inaction, complete being free of action, that's your goal. But in order to attain it, your action must become Karma Yoga. And at that point we have dealt with how to do your duties blended with certain things called vikaramas, japa, surrender to God, a form of integral yoga. So if you go on doing your action that way, chanda has been destroyed and your actions will create purity of heart. Purity of heart implies your goal is not just to see things established for you and for your generations. Your goal is, even while living in your daily life, allow the heart to open to God's presence. Become increasingly aware you are an instrument in divine hand. And that your goal is not anything on the earth planet. Even if you think something you are going to do in the world that will stay for 1,000,000 years, can be considered a tremendous success beyond imagination. But what is that success? The entire earth planet one day will vanish like a grain of dust. To handle this reality. Your goal is not, therefore, establishing anything in the world of time and space, though it will be there from practical point of view. Best things you will be able to do are of very powerful and enduring nature. That will happen. But your goal is not this happening, opening of your heart and enfolding God within yourself or be enfolded by God. Because Citta Śuddhi, purity of heart. The purity of heart develops even while doing various duties, being exceedingly involved in karma, and yet inwardly absolutely calm and serene. That picture has been presented with Krishna and Arjuna in the battlefield of Mahābhārata. Arjuna is perspiring all over with his bows and arrows. And Krishna is just serene, calm like the blue sky, in the midst of thundering clouds. All these poetic pictures are good to hold in your mind. The world thunders with turmoil and all that. But in the midst of this, you have the potentiality to be the sky. If you remain calm in a world where everything is peaceful, that calmness is not real. That's a big illusion. To remain calm even when all things are in turmoil, without being shaken. A tree that allows itself to be shaken by winds and yet deeply rooted. That's called a happy tree. That's a spiritual success. Doing karmas for purity of heart, and that name is given Nishkamya karma. Another name, renouncing the fruits of karma. And as you, purity of a heart opens the inner mystic window, the very illusion of ego, me and mine, melts away. And that's called real sannyasa. Nothing exists, nothing belongs to me. I'm neither mind nor body, immortal. Self am I. If you think that is too far-fetched, it is not. The highest reality is so simple that it eludes your grasp. Each day when you go to sleep, what happens? Nothing exists. Nothing belongs to me. Stripped of all things related to me and mine, you enjoy a state of rest. It recharges you for handling the problems of life. So this real source of recharging yourself and making your another day happy lies in that deep sleep state. And deep sleep state, you are out of your ego, out of the sense of mindness. So make your deep sleep your guru. Even when you are not sleeping, turn your mind to that state where ego can be transcended. Ego is not. Look at the ego and all the problems it builds up before you. Learn to be a witness, not be caught by it. Be aware of your ego's demands, complaints, just like the sky is aware of clouds, but remain detached. In that process, you are moving into a progress in sannyasa, karma and sannyasa. Karma yoga, sannyasa means jnana yoga. A profound insight is developing within you that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not confined to the body-mind complex. Rather, the entire universe is confined in me. think of the sun and all the illuminations of the sun. All the illuminations of the sun, they are confined in the sun. Allegorical way to explain. All rivers are confined in the ocean. All your dream is confined to your consciousness. Keeping that, let me go on with 24th verse. Antaḥ Sukh Antarārāma Antara Jyoti sa yogi Brahma Nirvāṇa Brahma Bhūto digacchati. One who finds bliss within, that's the foundation of your spiritual movement. Bliss implies happiness. In your very spiritual movement must start on this basic point, that happiness is not in the happenings of the world. No matter how many things you make them happen, that will not give you real happiness. Because all happenings in the world are as transient as the world itself. Therefore, if I want to be happy, real happy, I have to adjust something within myself. My senses should not dominate over my intellect. My sentiments should not go out of control. My reasoning should not become dull. Bringing order within yourself, simple order, that the mind should control the senses. In turn, mind must be controlled by the intellect. The chariot example, the horses must be controlled by chariot driver. So if that begins, in the terms of yogic terminology, if you begin your life with yama, niyama, simple restraints and observances, pursue the path of righteousness, then you have the recognizing that you are looking for inner joy. You are not looking for pleasures of the senses. Simple understanding is a profound change in your personality. Makes a big difference. Happiness to be found in the world, masses are after it. But the sick, simple understanding, not in the world, but how am I living day by day? Am I maintaining good health? Am I handling the stress in a right way? Am I improving in understanding, in the sentiments? It is this inward improvement that's giving you real happiness. So if you are not depending upon objects to be happy, now you have only one way to go, depending upon your inner spiritual movement for discovering happiness. And that's one point. Labhante is called Antaḥ Sukh. Internal joy. Next point. Antarārāma. Having aram within. You begin to enjoy sweetness within. you are begin to rest, enjoy a restful state within. Within term also has to be understood properly. Each time you say within, hand goes towards the heart. Somehow it conjures up in your mind, something is within your body, mind, inwardly, and shut out this hell, the outer world. But the within term is something different to make you understand. Suppose you are dreaming. During dream, you face your experience in two ways. Around you, how things are happening. Within you, how you are feeling. There is external and internal, both within the dream. Both are unreal. When you wake up, you were not holding on to the illusion of within and without of the dream. In and out, both were unreal in your dream. Getting out of both in order to wake up. Now, what does it lead to? When we say, look for God within, it implies don't take things as they appear to you. Dive deeper into them. Look into the internal, the indwelling presence of God. And when you are turning your mind inside, subjectively, again, look at how consciousness within you is doing amazing miracle. It lights up your intellect. It makes the mind operate in a profound way. It handles your emotions. All this inward movement that allows you to be in touch with a deeper level within yourself. The improvement is in both areas. Your external attitude, dealing with the world, your internal attitude, dealing with yourself. Both attitudes must undergo a change. In the external world, God alone is behind all. Siya Ram Main Sab Jag Jani. Knowing the world to be nothing but Sita and Ram. Karo Pranam Jori Jugpan. Fold your hands to everything. To the squirrel, to the monkey, to all human beings. Thereby you are moving internal, Antarārāma. Moving inward means you have moved away from the external world as well as the limited understanding of your own consciousness. And the more you transcend this relativity of consciousness, the greater is your internal peace. And the third point is Antara Jyoti. Jyoti means light. Light is an allegorical term for consciousness. Because the function of light is to reveal things. So the Upanishads have created a series of questions. What is the light that enables you to look around, move around in the world, and perform your actions? And the answer is the sun. It becomes your physical light. But do you always need this physical light? There are times when you are, and of course the Upanishad gives simple illustration, in your dream. You have not taken any form of light, but you are seeing in your dream. You are doing various things in your dream. What is that light? Put in another way, what is the light behind when you arrange your thoughts? When you work with computer, you can make it brighten up or let it be dull. But is there such a light operating in your unconscious to highlight it or dim light? Their light is just nothing but consciousness. And that light is totally different from physical light. So if you follow this line of thinking, the light of lights, light for the world is the senses. The light for the senses is the mind. The light for the mind is the intellect. Light for the intellect is Brahman, the source of all light. And that light has nothing to do with the physical light. And you become drawn to that light of lights. That's called Antara Jyoti. Three things therefore: Antaḥ Sukh, inner happiness. That's your one mantra. Not external happiness. Don't become too excited. Things have happened nicely. Wonderful rasgullas have come for you to delight your taste. Be practical. Be happy to that extent. But don't become too deluded that my goal has been reached. That's not your goal. Antaḥ Sukh. So you are always planning for a deeper joy, not in the realm of senses. And as you go on controlling your senses and mind, the deeper joy becomes more and more profound. Antarārāma, next point. Now your taste of joy becomes a taste of divine love. Divine love is the nectar of nectars. And it's dribbling or dripping. Then you rejoice within. Whenever you really rejoice, it is an internal experience. The external situation seems to give you happiness due to certain illusion. But the real happiness comes when you are inwardly, your senses have relaxed, your mind has relaxed, your thoughts are subsiding, and behind all that you feel a kind of shower of tranquilizer, mystic tranquilizer, has taken away all your stress. That's called rejoicing within. In that rejoicing, you are withdrawing the world of your senses. World of your senses is just a fluff. Withdrawing the world of your mind. Withdrawing the world of your unconscious. All drawn into the source. Just like the sun were to withdraw all its illuminations. And in that act, you are being charged with spiritual presence to such an extent you can't imagine. That's called Ishvara Smaran. That's Ishvara Chintan, turning to God, approaching God, uniting yourself with God, surrendering yourself to God, being the ideal, you go on working for it. And when you reach it, that's called Samadhi. Just like you withdraw yourself in sleep and you get charged. You withdraw all that you have and you have blended with God. That blending doesn't become pakka, doesn't become secure until you become highly advanced. But your attempt, your effort must continue. So therefore, the ideal before you is to have Antaḥ Sukh, the joy that is, you are discovering joy that is nowhere in the world. You are resting nowhere outside of yourself, completely resting within yourself. You are absolutely free. As long as you rest on something other than yourself, you are not free, you are dependent. But other than yourself, the real self is absolute. And you are nothing but light of lights, pure consciousness. Such a yogi becomes Brahman. Therefore, the simple point now, what is your identity? Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. Until you reach that identity, you're dealing with your identity led by a conditioned mind. The identity that is not real. In dream, your identity is different. You wake up, your identity becomes different. When you were a child, your identity was different. You become very rich, your identity differs. Become poor and miserable, your identity differs. When you kick the bucket, your identity differs. What is the identity? Behind all that, allow your heart to absorb the message of satsanga. You are none of these. You are Brahman. Sat within you. Sat that never perishes. That's what you are. That's your identity. Now, attaining that identity has two stages. One stage, you are moving towards that perfect revelation in a progressive manner, more and more. Once you have tasted the joy of spiritual attainment, you go on advancing without the fear of losing it. As long as you are immature aspirant, you have always the predicament of going up and down. There is always, no matter how high you go, there is always a risk of falling. Scriptures dramatize it. Narada went to a very great height and became egotistic. God invested him with monkey face to correct his error. Going high and then falling. That's the predicament of early stage of sadhana. If you become more mature, going up and with no other possibility. And that That state is called Brahmi Sthiti, when you cannot fall, but you can go up and up. And when you reach the climax, no furthermore can you go. You have reached the climax called Nirvāṇa, Brahma Nirvāṇa. You are secure on your path of ascent until you reach the ultimate. Thus you have attained Brahma Nirvāṇa. Kāma krodha vyuktānām yatīnām yatachesasām abhito Brahma Nirvāṇam vartate viditātmanām. He who has no desire or anger, whose mind is under his control, and who has realized the self, has attained liberation even here. Not to mention hereafter. The question of hereafter doesn't arise. To be absolutely free of kama and krodha. Kama, krodha, they are simple points relating to impurities of the heart called mala, malos, desire, anger, hate, jealousy, pride, greed, all come in one class. And if you are naming only one or two, you are naming all of it. It's called Sanskrit term is upalakshana. Go after that crowd that has an umbrella. Only one person has an umbrella, but there is a whole crowd is being pointed out. So one who is not gripped by kama and krodha, and mind is under the control, means intellect does not become confused or deluded by the functions of the mind. Mind does not go on moving according to the fancies of the ego. That means you have become swastha. You have realized the self. The realization of the self is not happening in the world. It's the reality being revealed. Deep down, the self in you is ever liberated. And by self-realization, you have simply removed ignorance. You have not done anything different. And with this, I'm going to conclude. Om Shanti Shanti.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.